Good morning, Nat.
Good morning.
Thanks for taking the time out to come and do the home visit. We like to do it in the car, so it gives you a chance to have a little look at how it all sort of lays out. And kind of what today's about really is to, I know we're not ready to start lessons yet, but it's about getting to meet each other, learning how the systems work, putting a plan of action in together, because we've got some issues with the theory test not ready yet and all. We'll talk about all that as we go along. Have you got the DVD and the workbook that we sent?
Yes.
Have you had a chance to have a look at it?
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever had a chance to read the little introduction bit in the workbook about client-centered learning?
Briefly.
Okay. Well, I mean, we'll tell you how all that works. And today's a good opportunity to answer any questions that you might have about the whole process. So basically the way it works, the idea is the workbook and the DVD run together. And the front here you can see that we've got laid out each of the lessons. We're going to work our way through possibly in that order. There's a lot of room, because what we've done is we've split all the lessons into different skill levels. So when you reach a certain skill level, there's several lessons that you can do at that point. So you can choose which one you like.
Right.
In the perfect world, you would choose everything that we're going to do in the order we're going to do it and the route we're going to do it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the weight of that at the beginning, and then as we get towards the end, then you'll make many more of the decisions. So the idea is that you watch the DVD and then do the quiz in the workbook, marking anywhere where you're not sure what the answer might be, or there are certain ones that say discuss your answer with your instructor. Right. So what we'll do then is we'll just have a little chat about it, and they're normally things that are a bit sort of where they're grey area, so we can have a look at how we would approach those kind of things. So that saves me having to tell you a lot of stuff in the car, so you can save a lot of time, which means you get more driving time in, which means that you're to your test earlier. Once we've completed the lesson, we have, just see here, targets at the end that we hope to achieve during that lesson. For example, you can see on this one that has a drill. When approaching a junction to turn, I check the correct mirrors, consider a signal, take up the correct position, so on and so forth. And there are 3 columns. Full means I'm doing all the work. Right. You're driving, but I'm kind of telling you everything that you need to do. Prompt is where I'm just giving you a little reminder to do it. None, that's when you're doing it completely on your own. Right. So we can tell at a glance whether we're ready. When it comes time to deciding whether we're ready for test, we transfer all of those marks to this back page. So you can see we've got all the lessons laid out again. And in these boxes, so for the one we were looking at, the first thing was, you take early observation. That was target number 1. If we're doing it with my help, a slash goes in the box. If we're doing it without my help, that becomes a cross. So when we're looking whether we're ready for test or not, well, if all of those boxes have crosses in them, then we're ready. The columns here, theory quiz, well, we'll probably be doing that because you're running your theory at the same time, aren't you? Yeah. So on each of these lessons, there are references for you to read the time of the theory at that point. The DVD column will tick if you watch the DVD. The brief column will tick that if you've done the quiz. Now, if you've read the briefing notes, rather, sorry. If you've done the quiz, we take the skill quiz. And there are also highway code references. Yeah. And you'll find those areas of the highway code on the DVD that you've got. Any questions on that?
No.
It's all fairly straightforward. Yeah. We ask that you try and do the work, but sometimes life gets in the way and you're not able to, so don't worry about that. What we're going to do at the end of each lesson is have a discussion about what are we going to do next. And there'll be several choices for you sometimes. Obviously at the beginning we'll start at lesson number 1. But there'll be lots of choices, so we'll do that and then agree the work that we need to do to get ready for the next time. And we're going to agree on a level that you can manage. Yeah. So that's how that all fits together, all fairly straightforward, and it'll become much more obvious as we're going along. But we need to chat about how it all pans out, how it fits together. And there's some stuff I need to find out about you, of course. We've already checked your eyesight, reading the number plate on the van outside. We've checked your licence. So we know that you're ready to go, but we just need to be sure about whether you're physically able to do that. Do you take any medication at all? No. No? No prescription drugs? No. No other kinds of drugs?
No.
Good. Pleased to hear it. Obviously you can't drive under the influence of alcohol or drugs. Everybody knows that, don't they? If I was to turn up and you were under the influence of those, we wouldn't be doing the lesson that day, obviously. But you would lose your lesson fee for that day. Yeah. Which leads on punctuality. I'll always try and be on time. If I'm late, I'll make you the time up. Probably not on that lesson. I'll add the time. If I'm 15 minutes late for a lesson, I'll give you 20 minutes extra on the next lesson for free.
Yeah, okay.
If you're late, you lose the time. Unless you've got a really valid excuse, and I'm feeling particularly soft that day. But we do charge for missed appointments, just the same as dentists and doctors do. Of course. I'll edit this bit out because I've lost my train of thought. I can put a little edit in there. Where did I get to? Let me have a think.
Alcohol, drugs.
That's right, alcohol and drugs.
Punctuality.
If lessons are cancelled for whatever reason, really, and I can't fill that slot in the diary, the same rule applies, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
If you need to cancel lessons, let me know in as much time as you can. If I can fill the slot, I won't charge you.
Right.
But it's give and take. We try and play fair both ways. If the weather is really bad, I might need to cancel. If it's a safety thing, if it's really high winds and there's things flying around the place, or if it's snowing or if it's icy. Do you have any questions for me?
None that I can think of.
Okay. The whole thing should be painless. There's nothing for you to worry about. If you have a look down at the side that you sat on, you'll see there's two pedals, a brake and a clutch. So if things go wrong, I can intervene. I can also move the steering. All I would ask you is if I go to move the steering,
Don't
come out of the way and let me do it, because no matter how big and strong I am, if I've only got one hand on, you've got two, you can beat me with that. So just allow me to do it. If I ever use any of the controls, I'll tell you that I've done it,
Right.
and I'll tell you why I've done it. It'll be a discussion point from that point forward. If you have any questions at any time, just feel free to ask. Occasionally, it is necessary for me to give you a command if we're in a situation that requires something to happen quickly. I'm not shouting it, I just need to make sure that you've heard. Normally, I'll get in with a prompt, and we'll avoid the situation in the first place. But rest assured, I'll never raise my voice. If I do, you'll get that lesson for free. Do you have any questions for me before we actually drive? Just we talk about how we're going to plan things out.
No.
Okay.
It all seems pretty straightforward.
So the way we're standing at the moment, we haven't got a test yet. What we normally do with these courses, the intensive or semi-intensive courses, we book a test and work backwards, but you're still doing your theory. So
we need to put it off a bit.
yeah, and you're waiting for your license to come back from a name change from...
And an address change, yes.
And an address change. Once we've got that, obviously we're sorting the theory out for you. We'll book the theory test. That'll then get that out of the way. Once we've got the theory passed, we can then book a test and work back. Now, it's up to you whether you want to start the lessons now and just do a few and then leave the bulk till later, or if you want to wait until you've done the theory. That's entirely up to you. You've got a lot of time to think about that. We'll get the theory booked first off. We can, of course, start the lessons, so it's entirely up to you. We'll have a chat about that when we look at diary scheduling.